In a world that runs on apps, application security is business security. And as application architectures modernize, cloud adoption grows, and workloads expand to the edge, your application attack surface increases exponentially. Traditional WAF and DDoS solutions just aren't sufficient to protect your complex mix of apps and APIs from an increasing number of threats and evolving attack types. You need added protection against automated attacks, bots, and API-specific threats with real-time defense and machine learning-powered analysis, because signature-based approaches are no longer enough. You need security that protects your business without slowing it down. Say hello to F5's distributed cloud web application and API protection solution. Comprehensive SaaS-based security for all your web and mobile applications, no matter where they're deployed. You'll get integrated protection from F5's industry-leading WAF that combines signature and behavioral-based protections, anti-bot and fraud engine to help determine in real time if app requests are legitimate or not, DDoS mitigation delivering protections against attacks at layers 3 through 7, and advanced API discovery and control capabilities that can enforce a positive security model. Simplified policy enforcement across distributed environments makes it simple to maintain governance and compliance. You can scale in minutes to meet application growth and get rid of security bottlenecks by seamlessly inserting the service into your DevOps toolchain. There's no hardware or software to manage. Plus, you'll always know what's going on with end-to-end observability, supported by an easy-to-use API to streamline or automate deployment, management, and integrations. And it's backed by F5 Labs threat intelligence, so you'll sleep better at night knowing that your apps and APIs will always be protected against the latest, most sophisticated attacks. In a complex world, you don't have time to stay ahead of every security risk. Simplify your path to effective security and peace of mind with F5 distributed cloud web application and API protection.
Good morning, everyone. Good day to everyone. My name is Srinivas. I'm the Distributed Cloud Specialist managing the ASEAN today, and it's great to have this conversation with you all. Right. Why are you listening to me? This is the first thing that I would like to address, and this is normally the kind of notion that viewers have. Why should I even listen to this person? Who is he? What has he done that I have to listen to him? Right. So my work has been about helping customers identify their IT needs, which can meet their business demands, build a robust blueprint, and help customers chalk out a roadmap with futuristic game-changing technologies. I've held different positions in different companies. I've worked for VMware for 8+ years. I've worked for a customer, the top bank in ASEAN region, Maybank, for 4.5 years, managing their infra cloud team, building SDDC portfolio architecture around it, and handling operations for them. I've also been part of a local cloud company in Malaysia, where I was the chief strategy officer for them for a year plus before joining F5. And this is where I am. And today, we're going to speak in this webinar where we're focusing on Metaverse and its importance and impact, really. Now, in my personal opinion, Metaverse is a very micro level subject. The analogy that I normally would draw to this would be, it's kind of the most precious, safeguarded, service that you have kept, or an item that you've kept locked inside the house in the most, secret hidden space. That is what Metaverse is all about. It's that microservice, protection of things. However, to get to that locker, we should not forget how many layers of security that a person needs to pass before they get to that locker, get a hand on that locker. So security itself is a subject like that, right? It's about protecting against threats at all different layers of communication, and also who gets access and who doesn't get access. And today, we're going to speak a little bit more about these components and layers, which leads up to this service, which is the most confidential in nature to be kept safe. Right. So before we head into our conversation on today's topic, which is about distributed cloud, removing boundaries in the metaverse, let us speak about why distributed cloud and what is really distributed cloud and what does it constitute of. This is a very emerging space in the cloud adoption journey for a customer. Not many customers would really look at this, immediately until unless they see the problem areas that it addresses. But from FI's viewpoint, it is important to for our customers to know, or for the market to understand, why distributed cloud. Why are we bringing up with this solution? Where does FI play a role for the business, for their applications, for their IT infrastructure, and the operations teams in being able to deliver their core jobs and functionalities, right? So let's go ahead and dive into that right away. Now, the first thing that we want to address is really what has happened in the past. Now, if you look at the left side of this content, you would understand it's all monolithic apps, right? That we are talking about. This is something that we used to, web app DB, three-tier applications. We know all of this. And, a lot of y'all might be on the journey of cloud providing, right? Cloud adoption, where you all are either on AWS or Azure, or probably your on-prem itself, and things like that. And there is also, a lot of communication that happens to one kind of communication mode, right? So the past decade has seen massive move towards virtualization with monolithic applications running as VMs. That is normal today. We do use it private or in a public cloud. So what we do see is the next decade will be marked by newer application architectures that not only includes monolithic apps, but also distributed application architecture led by containerization or serverless infrastructure. This movement has significant impact and on how apps are architected, networked, and secured. Right. So uh, 2020, 2010 to 2020 has been about migrating from a centralized data center to hybrid clouds, with the public cloud adoption being more prevalent with providers like AWS, Azure, and GCP. The reason was for this change was all about operational simplification, right, and reduce time to market. Now, let's fast forward 2020 plus, 2021, and how the trend of digital transformation is catching up, uh, driven by the adoption of this cloud concept. There were multi-cloud provider adoptions too, and this multi-cloud provider adoption was due to reasons of performance or risk reduction, or acquisitions, and so many other things. In addition, there's a new emerging trend that we have seen of running applications on the edge itself, right? So traditionally, when you look at it, how the security policies and the connectivities was managed at the network level, uh, there was a growing adoption of micro segmentation, where policies were written and enforced at the network level. All of this will no longer work with microservices and serverless architecture. All the traffic between the apps is either REST APIs, right, that are multiplexed on the same network port. And as a result, the network level security and connectivity is not very useful anymore. So to summarize, there are several technical and architectural trends, of course, driven by business needs, around the types of application, their locality, and the means of how they are delivered, accessed as they converge together. It is creating major challenges for traditional networking, security, app services infrastructures, and so on and so forth. So, uh, what is distributed cloud really, right? What are we talking about when we say distributed cloud? For us, when you look at the trend of this multi-cloud adoption, actually, even you all might realize very soon that your applications are distributed and the data is distributed. And that's what we call as a distributed cloud, when the applications are distributed across multiple cloud environments or multiple locations. In this kind of a distributed environment, you take the advantage of having compute, network, or storage, which can be offered to your applications and services you need from different locations. Now, obviously, we'll go into distributed cloud in much deeper detail in a moment. But what's the biggest question is, what's changed that requires a distributed cloud? What is this distributed cloud? Why do we need it? Wouldn't this make the operational challenges much more worse than the multi-cloud is already? Uh, Again, make no mistake, the thoughts are not wrong. The thought is right about it might make the operational challenges much more worse. But we believe the distributed architecture, cloud architecture, is required to address the demand of the modern apps. Now, let's understand what is the problem with today's world. Without understanding the problem, obviously, you wouldn't be able to understand why we are proposing a solution to it. So let's understand, right? So why today's infrastructure is obsolete, to support modern apps. One is multiple components, software and services that are disparate and are not connected and don't work together well. Varying operations teams and models. Teams are siloed, working with or on their own, right, with a specific mandate or scope of work. Then there are various configs and intents, different systems with different code bases, interfaces, hard to maintain unified policies, controls also disparate across softwares and systems, siloed monitoring and visibility, very, very important, really impossible to get that end-to-end layer visibility across users, performance, and security. When it comes to distributed apps, right, where the need to process data across, multiple different locations, the traditional networking and security tools uh, are normally not sustainable, right? The result of all these trends and the changing models is that organizations struggle to deliver at scale and secure their applications, and potentially leading to a diminished business success, and also damage the customer relationships. So you start to quickly see why delivering and securing extraordinary user experience has become infinitely more complex. Now, this is where companies are at an inflection point where all of this is no longer sustainable. This fragmented approach to application security and delivery if fundamentally is fundamentally flawed, right? And it is all manifested as an operational complexity caused by inconsistency of technologies across environments, by creating unsustainable technical and operational debt, then manually stitching together is no more fast and scalable, and it leaves you vulnerable. So examples are DevOps teams are forced to hard code the automation, and without visibility across these environments, when something goes wrong, you find out about it via an angry customer on social media, and the mean time to risk all of these can be days or weeks, resulting in a lot of loss of business, right? The attack surface and has increased. The sophistication of attacks have increased, right? Over a period of time, there's so much of different kinds of attacks, irrespective of where the workload runs, whether it be on the cloud or or on prem, right? And also targeted attacks against specific systems, exploits against specific things have increased, right? And the rich telemetry is trapped in silos. This visibility is still individual. If you look at all your services running on different locations, all of the visibility is still siloed, right? Since the systems are so disjointed, the policy management and visibility systems are very different. And it is even harder to do policy and observability across these systems sitting on different locations. Now, this is a big struggle, right? Um, the other issues is that given the nature of how these systems are deployed and managed, it leads to operational silos too. It's just not about deployment and delivery. It's also about how operations are being, facing the challenges doing shared services. Each cluster, of an application or each particular service requires their own SecOps teams and they have to share policy rules, and this becomes hard to deliver without more automation, tooling, and processing across multiple different clouds where all these services run. Now, we understand these are the technical challenges, right? Obviously, now, as much as we hear these are the challenges, there's something that actually comes out and delivers a solution to it. And this combination of all the problems delivers a new solution for delivering adaptive applications, right? What does this do? This actually reduces operational complexity, making it easier to deploy at scale and maintaining critical app network components and services. Better end user performance, faster and improved time to value, less effort, less wasted time, and resources also, right? Now, this is where F5's distributed cloud can deliver certain outcomes. One, it delivers consolidated services at a lower TCO and reduce complexity and simplified consistent operations management with consistent tooling from on-premise to the cloud and to the edge, right? And it's a SaaS-based operations offering, which gives greater agility and scale. Hence, giving lower operational expenses and greater scale and reduced time to market, right? Policy and observability is another outcome that we deliver through our F5 distributed cloud, which is more centralized and unified, which is capturing network, app, and user telemetry across deployments and bringing them together in a more understandable way to see and have a visibility of what your applications are doing, what the users of your applications are doing. And it also provides a multi-tenancy platform, and security. The most robust multi-layered security services, L3 to L7 coverage, including access controls across all these multiple environments. Now, this is what F5's distributed cloud really comes up as outcomes. Great. Now we understand there's a shift from older applications or monolithic applications to a single cloud providing to multi-cloud providing, and now there's a distributed cloud which is trying to solve certain challenges, and it's coming up with proposition values of how it can solve and what is the outcomes based on that. Now, this is where we need to understand what is the real use case of a distributed cloud service. Why should I bring that in? Why should I really invest in distributed cloud? What is it, what is the need for it? Now, the main important considerations are a use case. A typical use cases are multi-cloud networking. So if you have resources running across multiple different clouds, they have their own network connectivities between the services. Now, how do you bring all of these on a consistent network connection? Right? And then a web app and API security. We all know how much of security, of important security holds, especially in our web app layers when it comes to WAF and DDoS protections. And also about application delivery, right? How do you bring consistent policies and automation into delivering your applications out faster to the market, right? And irrespective of locations, whether it's on-prem or to the cloud or to the edge, right? And then, of course, there's a bot defense. There's so many automated bots and non-human interactions that happen and frauds that happen across the systems. How do you detect and respond against it? Now, this is where I think the typical use cases are for us, right? Now, having said that, how do we deliver all of these capabilities, against a multi-cloud? Now, you might wonder, hey, come on, multi-cloud also, every cloud provider has their own DDoS protection, has their own, WAF solution. Well, all of it is there. So what is so different? So in distributed cloud, what we do is we give a particular console, which is a unified console. It's a SaaS-based centralized controller that manages the lifecycle of all the service components and provides a common point for all applications and services, including analytics-driven defense mechanisms, right? Now, how do we do this now? If you look at this screen itself, you would understand that we layer this into multiple different things. One, we call it the distributed networking and security services, which covers the networking aspect and the web app security aspect, including bot defense. And then is the application development and delivery itself. So we are not saying it's just about protecting what is already deployed. How can we ensure that there is a consistent policy and network connection and security policies, even in the delivery mechanism or the development of the app itself? And how do we do that in a central place? And that's what we deliver through distributed cloud. Now, how do we do this distributed cloud architecture? Right now, we ideally use two important components called the distributed cloud mesh, and we call it the distributed cloud app stack. Now, if you look at it very carefully, this is self-explanatory, but just to go a little more understandable into this thing, the distributed cloud mesh is where it is the routing and services engine. It's a data plane which runs anywhere and enables network switching and other services, including comprehensive app security. Okay. And the other part is the distributed cloud app stack. Now, this is where the platform service for distributed Kubernetes clusters. So if you want to develop an application using Kubernetes, this is the app stack a solution that goes along. Now, what does this deliver? It delivers a full app delivery stack and services, end-to-end traceability and observability, full data path programmability, portable between the edge, the private clouds, and the public clouds with a global service mesh, which we'll come to again. Distributed control plane, sorry, for the delivery of Kubernetes based, infrastructure, infrastructure as code, secrets management, providing controls for app to app, and then GitOps for fleets between edge, private, and the public clouds. Now, this is how we do a distributed node architecture. Now, how do we bring all of this together? Now, if you look at this particular slide, you would understand that, we are speaking about you might be running applications in your headquarters, your private cloud, your own on-prem, or in edge deployments, you want to deploy applications, or on your public cloud, right? So F5 Distributed Cloud allows you to manage all of your sites as a logical cloud. Now, this is all connected through F5's own global network backbone, right? So the whole idea is to give a portable platform that spans across multiple sites and clouds, as you can see, and a private backbone that connects all of these sites. Connecting those sites is done through the nodes that we spoke about, the cloud mesh and the cloud app stack. Nodes can be, again, virtual, it can be hardware within your own data centers, it can be different edge sites, or it could be even cloud instances. You can create an EC2 instance on Amazon and do that there too. And also, the nodes provide the infrastructure platform to deliver container-based application, including network and security services. And all of these things are interconnected and managed and operated through that single distributed cloud SaaS based console. That is the most important part of how we deliver this. And like I told, this whole thing is us about the FI's global private network backbone. Now, we run this through the tier one carriers. It's a 12 plus TBPS capacity, multi TBPS private backbone. We have dedicated connectivity to certain providers too, right? So this is how our global private network is, with multiple POPs in Singapore, in Sydney, Melbourne, and there's one new coming up in India too. So, and in Hong Kong. So if you have anything that's running across and your business runs across all of these or anywhere in the part of the world, there are different POPs that can help you to connect all of these delivery mechanisms or protect your applications against attacks and everything, right? Now, uh, so what are we trying to solve, or where is the value that we add when it comes to providing this kind of unified management and security policy driven, which is consistent across network and security, right? One thing that we do is we reduce operational complexity and improve visibility, which helps to simplify the network plus security stack. It also provides multi-tenancy with a self-servicing capability, which improves productivity and collaborations between the DevOps, the SecOps, and the NetOps. Centralized observability, which is very important and a key aspect to any CISO today. You go and speak to them, they speak about observability and visibility. Access, which this particular access is there across your environments, doesn't matter where it is, and also helps to improve time to services, right? Consolidated service with common API and networking plus security capabilities, improve developer experience, end user experience is enhanced, and that's how we do it. Now, where is the strength of this? We normally, when we speak about distributed cloud, one of the first aspects that we speak about is really on the web app and API protection. I'm going to go a little more deeper into that in a while, but these are a couple of instances that we have worked with certain customers. SoftBank being one, where we helped solve their critical operational challenges and increase their productivity and efficiency, and in turn revenue streams. We also worked with Cdiscount, which is a French e-commerce, to maximize the security as well as the user experience. These are just a couple of statements from those organizations that we worked with, putting a distributed cloud and helping them to improve the productivity, security, and the user experience. Now, what we're going to speak a little more detail is about the API protection, the web app, what we call as WAP. Again, this is not what we call; it's actually a Gartner coined term, and it's a space where Gartner has spoken about this particular space, which is called web app and API protection. Now, why web app and API protection? The world is changing. Since the pandemic, we've all experienced the rise in that digital experiences, right? Applications remain at the core of every experience, with new applications being developed to align with business objectives and increased resilience, increased dependencies on developers to move faster and reduce time to the market, right? Now, the previous generation of web apps were mostly front end, web front ends with heavy video and image content and rendering and personalization and all of that. However, all of this is changing dramatically with the growth of complex desktop, mobile, and IoT apps that are served with very large number of backend services running in the cloud and or integrated with third-party SaaS providers. So we are observing this trend across multiple industries. Now, what does this mean? Well, what is the real challenge here? Now, this is where it brings in a lot of complexity, right? The consequence of these evolving applications brings in a risk as well. This, in trying to deliver the experience of the digital experience of providing modernized apps with digital experience and all of that is exploring the complexity of applications, right? Uh, there is a growing expectation and a need for uptime, reliability, as organizations keep up with the end user application demands. Right now, second is in order to keep the organizations often, in order to keep up, the organizations often find themselves expanding into new environments. So they start pushing workloads into different spaces. Applications are no longer constrained to a single provider, right? So there are different clouds that we do, or partner environments, or large DC footprints that we start looking into to ensure that we are able to deliver. Right now, and in the process, we need to protect these applications regardless of where they're deployed, and that becomes a very ineffective, or is becoming a challenge, right? And that is where you also start seeing multiple WAFs with different providers that are being there. Now, this has led to a significant increase in attacks because all the applications are growing, and and they're all mission critical to all businesses. And failure to modernize your app security approach with all of that is evolving with your application results in increased risk as attackers exploit vulnerabilities in these exposed environments. Right now, so what else is changing? The lack of end-to-end visibility. The more we speak about it, it's still less, right? What we have is siloed views of everything. How do we bring all of these visibility together so that our NetOps and SecOps team will utilize one set of tools to monitor all application issues for specific environments? How do we do that? And then comes the security enforcement itself, right? With all of these running across multiple different places, how do we ensure that a unified security is driven across all of these applications? And this becomes another challenge that we are trying to solve. Now, this is where we speak about a SaaS based a SaaS delivered application security. Now, when we speak about this, you might notice on the screen where we are speaking about no where we are not just speaking about applications which are mission critical to the business, and they're composed of multiple APIs, and how do we protect that silo? But what we are speaking about is a singular view. You need protection against all of these non-human interactions and an automated way of detecting frauds, including API security. There are multiple APIs, multiple calls that your merchants make to these environments. How do you be a solution that can easily scale and deploy anywhere? So it's not just about protecting where it is there, but also about how do you scale that and protect that automatically once they're scaled, right? You need a secure, cost-effective, and efficient tool to manage and route ballooning request traffic, right? Even the APIs, there's a lot of congestion that comes in when there's a lot of API transactions or communications that happen. You need security that simplifies management and application of security policies, increasing the velocity to deploy secure apps. And then you obviously need advanced monitoring and visualization across a growing and more disparate app ecosystem than ever before. The critical nature of these SaaS apps and IoT apps is increasing the need for the gained metrics, the granular metrics and advanced visualization for monitoring and external integrations with various logging, alerting, notifications, and SIEM tools. Right now, to address all of these is where we come up with, F5 has come up with what is called the distributed cloud WAP, right? This integrates with the best of F5 technologies, from Big IP Advanced WAF engine to the legacy Shape and the Volterra, and the best-in-class offering of a unified SaaS platform, right? Now, what do we do with these? Ideally, the F5's distributed cloud WAP provides an as a service holistic approach to app security that protects each surface that an application exposes, namely WAF, bot, and fraud mitigation, volumetric DDoS, and application-based DOS mitigation, and API protection. It also combines multi-cloud networking, making the offering truly unique in the marketplace. right? At the core, what we have is web application firewall based on the respected awarded core of our big IP engine, Advanced WAF. It's FWise 1 WAF, right? However, this is united with technologies from legacy Volterra, bringing to the table advanced machine learning, which is used to identify threats that are outside of those that a signature-based engine alone can find. Right. In addition, we have added threat campaigns, which allows threat intelligence gathered by F5 to be incorporated into the offering, which yields very low false positives and is highly accurate. Second, we have DDoS mitigation capabilities, delivering multi-layered protection against attacks intended to disrupt critical network resources, app performance, and app experiences across layers 3 to 7, including network level shielding from volumetric distributed DDoS and DOS signatures, service policies, including rate limiting, IP reputation, and advanced scrubbing with deep packet inspections. Right. We also bring legacy shape that brings in the best-in-class bot protection product to the mix, and then there's API security safeguards, APIs, with safeguards APIs from threat actors attempting to exploit them to facilitate a breach or services outage. F5's distributed WAP solution makes it easy for DevOps, NetOps, and SecOps to configure protection for applications, manage policies, and view security insights across any environment, regardless of where your applications are hosted. From a user experience perspective, persona-based views will make it easier for various teams to access key services and controls they need for their roles and applications they can support. Right. Now, how do we bring this all together? This is where the streamlined approach of all of these layers come together. And there are multiple use cases when it comes to, the distributed cloud nature itself, right? So here we are speaking about how do we streamline security for apps across multiple multi-cloud or hybrid environments. We are speaking about eliminating bots and fraud and abuse, manage and secure the APIs that run across multiple places, and simplified security for developments, which are, agile app developments. Now, so we did speak a lot about a lot about earlier we spoke about end-to-end visibility, right? And security and agility becomes a challenge in a distributed app environment today. So with F5's distributed cloud WAP, NetApps and SecOps teams can utilize one set of tools to connect, secure, and monitor application issues across specific environments via the distributed cloud console, which is a centralized cloud control plane, which we spoke about earlier. So with F5's distributed cloud WAP, they can seamlessly deploy, manage, and enforce security policies across distributed workloads that SecOps, NetOps, and DevOps teams operate from, including across multiple clouds, any private, it could be any private cloud or data centers or branches or even edge locations, and even within F5's own distributed cloud global network, right? Now, what is the next step from here, right? There are few different deployment models. Our teams can help you to identify which are the deployment models that will help you out. But again, it really depends on the use cases. Where do you want your application to be delivered? Where are your applications running today? And those will define whether it should be a regional edge or a customer edge, or it should be a hybrid one, right? The next one is about a particular use case that we did for an online gaming company, right? The outcome objective was really about improving performance and reliability across multiple clouds, right? And as well as reducing the risk. Even though this initial one was really about the distributed cloud mesh, which is about load balancing capability and how do you connect between the clouds and add some API gateway functions and stuff. But eventually, it quickly turned into a cloud stack, right? Which is about trying to deploy applications to the regional edges, and how do you, ensure that you're able to get applications delivered with higher performance and simplified operations. And that's how this use case transformed. And eventually it became a much bigger use case than just about connecting between two different clouds, right? Now, what do we do differently? What is the key differentiator from us, right? There are three dimensions that we have differentiation over the other solutions in the market, with the unique ability to distribute services wherever the need is, right? One is security efficacy, which is using proven and industry-leading F5 app security technologies for WAF, bot defense, and also fraud detection and API security in one single SaaS delivered solution, which can be deployed anywhere, supported by a global private network from F5, purpose-built for a multi-cloud environment and microservices-based apps. And the common platform the WAP, which is combined with multi-cloud networking, app delivery, API security, and bot defense, all of this in one common platform is the key differentiator for us. So that's what we do bring to the table. Now, you might be wondering, there's so much to digest within a very short time. There is distributed cloud, but what and how do we go about doing this? Please do not hesitate to reach out to us, to the FI team locally there, to be able for us to be able to understand what are your use cases, where is the problem points, what are you all trying to solve, how do we help you all with your cloud adoption? Because any cloud adoption, the first single step is really about network and security. If you're able to connect your networks across multiple clouds and you're able to secure them and provide unified network policies and security policies, then your cloud adoption becomes easier. Please do reach out to us and we'll be more than happy to have a conversation. Thank you so much for listening to me and appreciate it. See you all soon. Be safe. Thank you. Bye.